Starting our today's journey with a massive beauty made in Luxembourg and used for carrying logs in forestry work. Just look at it. It comes with either 2 or 3 axles, and the axles can be set up in different ways depending on what's needed. It uses air suspension, which helps balance the trailer when it's carrying heavy loads. There are 2 types of steering systems available. One works on friction, the other uses hydraulics, and both are there to help the driver stay in control, especially when turning through narrow or uneven paths in the forest. The trailer can stretch in 1 or 2 sections, so it can carry short logs or very long ones, up to around 72 feet. Steel posts, usually 3 to 5 sets, are used to keep the logs in place during transport. It is fitted with BPW axles, disc brakes, and standard size tires. It connects to the truck using a 2-inch kingpin and is built with a solid steel frame that can extend when needed. Some versions allow for a loading crane to be added, either on the trailer itself or on the truck. This crane makes it possible to load and unload logs even in remote areas without extra equipment. It weighs around 20,300 pounds on its own and can handle axle loads up to 44,000 pounds. And now, looking at a 60-foot Danish roll trailer, capable of moving really heavy loads, up to 120 tons, across short distances, like in ports or industrial yards. When it's empty, it weighs about 32,000 pounds. It rides on 4 axles, with each one able to handle over 55,000 pounds. The 5th wheel, the part that connects to the towing vehicle, can carry more than 81,000 pounds on its own. The deck is made of thick steel and can handle pressure up to 4.8 pounds per square inch. It's a wide trailer too, about 9 feet across, and stands just under 3 feet tall. Instead of inflatable tires, it uses solid rubber ones. There are 8 in total, and each is over 2 feet in diameter. These tires help keep the trailer steady when it's carrying heavy equipment or containers. It's not meant for high speeds. It can go just over 6 miles per hour when loaded, and up to 10 miles per hour when it's empty. It's best used for short trips, under 1.5 miles at a time, and then it needs a few hours to cool down before the next run. The trailer frame is made of strong steel and coated to handle exposure to weather in work environments like docks or yards. Along the sides and surface, there are secure points, 50 heavy-duty rings, and additional tie-down spots, so cargo can be firmly strapped in during transport. It also has forklift pockets spaced about 6.7 feet apart, so workers can lift and move it when needed. Next, a British system that includes a full range of hydraulic parts made for trucks. It starts with gear pumps that come in sizes from 25 cubic centimeters to 110 cubic centimeters. These are available with different mounting styles to match most setups. There are also bent axis piston pumps in the XPI series, which use 7 pistons and can switch rotation direction on their own. They're designed to handle pressure well and prevent fluid leaks. PTO units connect the truck's engine to the hydraulic system, and there are many types to fit different truck brands. To transfer power, it also uses Coil shafts. Hydraulic tanks range from 27 to 300 liters and can be mounted on the side or the back. Power packs come in 12 or 24 volt versions with small reservoirs and built-in valve controls. There are plenty of fittings, swivels, and couplings to connect the system parts, all in sizes from 1/4 inch up to 2 inches. The hook and go sheeting system is fully automatic. It adjusts its width on its own to stay within road limits and covers loads without needing extra manual work. The high tower hook version is partly automatic. It raises a tall arm up to 15 feet, then the user pulls the sheet over by hand. For tipping, the system includes front-end tipping gears that work with trucks from 7.5 tons up to 44 tons. The cylinders are made from strong, solid steel tubes built to hold up under pressure. These loaders come with telescopic arms, stabilizers, and simple controls placed at ground level. There's also the option to operate them remotely. And Sweden. There's this side loader that can handle up to 79,000 pounds, 36 metric tons, strong enough for full-size containers. Plus, even though it has this high capacity, its design keeps the trailer's total weight low, so it uses less fuel and helps reduce wear on tires and roads. Another feature of it is its double-action support leg system that can work in two different ways. In step-over mode, the legs stretch outward so the machine can lift containers over another trailer or a rail wagon. In sledge mode, the legs stay close to the body, which is helpful when working in tight spaces. This system gives the operator better control over how and where containers are placed. To start lifting, the operator first lowers the support legs to keep the trailer steady. Then, the crane arms move sideways, attached to the container, and lift it either onto the trailer or down to the ground. The hydraulic system moves the crane smoothly and evenly, keeping everything balanced. Some models also have sensors that check if the legs are in the right position before lifting begins, adding an extra layer of safety. It can be set up in different ways, depending on the job. It can use a fixed, telescopic, or truck-mounted chassis, and it works with 20, 40, and 45-foot containers. Its hydraulic components are made to deliver steady power while reducing stress on the frame. Because of its quick cycle time, it helps move containers faster, which saves time in transport and loading operations. Next, this German system works a lot like the way electric trains get their power. Instead of relying only on batteries or fuel, trucks can get electricity directly from overhead wires while they're driving. A special arm, called a pantograph, connects the truck to these wires. When the truck enters a section of road with this setup, the arm automatically reaches up and starts drawing power. Once the truck leaves that section, the arm lowers, and the truck switches back to using its regular engine or battery. The power lines above the road send electricity to the truck as it moves, even at full highway speeds. The system can use either direct current, 670 volts DC, or alternating current, 750 volts AC, depending on how it's built. The pantograph can shift side to side if the truck changes lanes, and it can raise or lower, depending on what the road or driver needs. One big benefit is that trucks don't have to carry huge batteries or stop to charge. Getting power straight from the wires while driving keeps them going longer and saves energy. It also cuts down on the energy lost when charging and using batteries. In tests, the system has worked well with hybrid and electric trucks that are already on the road. It's been able to handle real traffic, different road shapes, and normal driving conditions. When the overhead wires end, the truck keeps driving just like normal, with the pantograph folding down and staying out of the way. And an Australian driver monitoring system using infrared cameras and AI to track eye and head movements, detecting signs of fatigue or distraction in real time. It starts working as soon as the vehicle begins to move, using special sensors and infrared light to watch the driver's face, eyes, and head movements. By tracking things like blinking and where the driver is looking, it can tell if someone is getting tired or distracted. It works well in all kinds of lighting, day or night, even if the driver is wearing sunglasses. There's a small camera facing the driver, another one looking at the road, and a seat feature that vibrates to get the driver's attention if something's wrong. It also uses sounds and lights to warn the driver. When the system notices something risky, it saves the event. This includes things like how fast the vehicle was going, where it was, how long the event lasted, and short video clips. The system only keeps this kind of data when a problem is detected. Otherwise, it just keeps recording over itself every 24 hours. Once an event is saved, the system sends the information to a team of people who review it. They make sure the system got it right and decide how serious the situation was. Fleet managers can then check these events through an online dashboard. They can see trends, spot patterns, and decide what actions to take to improve safety. A Netherlands trailer about 45 feet long, 8.4 feet wide, and over 13 feet tall that can hold around 3,285 cubic feet of cargo. It runs on 3 axles that can handle a total of about 59,500 pounds, with the connection point at the front, the 5th wheel, supporting up to 39,700 pounds. Its frame doesn't need a separate subframe, which helps keep the weight down. Depending on how it's set up, the trailer itself weighs around 16,200 pounds. The floor slats in these trailers are made from aluminum and are between 1/3 and almost an inch thick. Instead of tipping to unload, this trailer uses a moving floor system powered by hydraulics. The floor is made up of slats that slide back and forth in a timed pattern. This pushes the cargo out of the back while the trailer stays flat. That makes unloading possible in places where there's not enough space to raise the trailer, or where the ground isn't even. The frame includes long solid pieces of aluminum without welds in critical spots, which helps avoid weak points. In the Extreme model, the trailer comes with a steel floor and added reinforcement on the front and back. There's also a rear light bar that folds away to stay protected during loading and unloading. For trailers with side access, like the EXS IDE, almost the entire side opens, about 42 feet of clear space. That's helpful for loading pallets or oddly shaped cargo. Some versions also have roofs that can open or roll back, depending on what's needed. Another trailer made to handle heavy loads, but this one is in Poland. Polish use strong steel for the frame, air suspension for smoother rides, and reliable disc brakes with WABCO systems. Some of their models can carry more than 68,000 pounds, and each axle can take up to 22,000 pounds. The platforms can stretch to fit extra long cargo, and the surfaces are made of a mix of steel and hardwood to support big, heavy equipment. They use 17.5-inch tubeless tires, chosen for stability and long-distance travel. Certain models also have axles that lift when not needed, and rear axles that turn on their own, which helps when moving through tight spots or turning. Tanker versions can hold around 7,400 gallons of liquid and include features like air brakes, hydraulic doors in the back, and brass valves to let the liquid out. Some trailer beds sit lower, or can be adjusted depending on what needs to be loaded. Hydraulic ramps can be added to help drive equipment on and off, and lights built into the frame help during long drives or night work. The metal parts are coated in multiple layers to handle long-term use and exposure to the elements. The air suspension spreads the weight evenly so everything stays steady, even if the load isn't perfectly balanced. They also come with features that help control the weight and stress placed on the trailer while it's being towed. This helps when moving tall machines, construction vehicles, or other hard-to-carry loads. Again in Sweden, looking at a machine built to lift and move very heavy cable drums, handling up to 77,000 or even 114,000 pounds, depending on how it's set up, useful for jobs in power line work, telecom installations, and large construction projects, and in fact, anywhere big cable drums need to be moved without a lot of extra equipment. What makes this trailer stand out is that it does both the lifting and the transporting. That means only one person and one vehicle are needed to pick up a drum, move it, and set it down. It uses a hydraulic system built into the trailer itself to carefully lift the drum from the side. Since it doesn't rely on outside equipment like cranes, it helps save time and simplifies the work, especially on job sites with limited space. It has adjustable hydraulic supports that can fit drums of different sizes and an optional top-mounted spreader that lifts the drum using its center shaft. The trailer's frame can also be changed to fit wider drums, and if needed, it can be equipped to carry 20-foot containers. For extremely wide drums, the trailer can be adjusted so the drum sits in a better position for lifting, which adds even more flexibility. Securing cargo can take up a lot of time, especially in trailers with curtain sides. But in Hamburg, they've got this system that helps speed things up by letting the driver handle all the straps from the ground. It stays fixed in place and is attached with screws or rivets, so there's no need to change the trailer itself. You can install just one unit or several, depending on what kind of loads you carry. The way it works is simple. Each strap is connected to a spring-loaded unit that pulls the strap back in when it's not being used. To secure a load, you just pull the strap out, loop it over or around the cargo, and tighten it like usual. When you're done, the spring pulls the extra strap back into place. There's now also a metal guide built in to help keep the strap aligned. This setup keeps straps from dragging on the floor or getting tangled. Since everything happens from the ground, there's no need to climb onto the trailer or over the cargo. That makes the whole job a lot safer and easier on the body. It works well with both flatbed trailers and curtain-sided ones. You can use it for diagonal strapping too. Because the straps stay in place and don't need to be coiled or tossed, the process is quicker and smoother every time. Tests show it can save up to 70% of the time usually spent tying down loads, adding up to about 140 hours a year if used regularly. Next in Austria, these hook loader and skip loader systems can lift loads between 14 and 24 tons, used in waste collection, construction, and hauling. Depending on the model, they can tip containers at angles between 44 and 56 degrees. The systems sit low on the truck, starting at just over 6 inches high, which helps with stability. Hook heights range from about 3 to 5 feet, and they can handle containers as short as 7 feet or as long as 23 feet. Some of the lighter models weigh around 783 pounds, while the heavier ones go over 7,000 pounds. Most come with optional features like remote controls, automatic loading cycles, and user-friendly in-cab control panels. Some versions speed up loading by shortening the arm's movement time. There are also features that make the machine quieter and reduce wear during operation. The system works by using a hydraulic arm mounted on the truck. The hook arm latches onto a container and pulls it onto the truck's frame. Everything is handled by hydraulics, so the driver doesn't need to leave the cab once things are set up. Some models can adjust to containers of different sizes without changing parts or doing extra setup. Once the container is in place, locking systems keep it secure during travel or unloading. There are models made for small city trucks and others built for heavier industrial trucks. The smaller ones are easier to control and better for tight spaces, while the bigger ones handle long, heavy containers. There are also versions made specifically for carrying chemical containers or meeting special transport standards. In Holland, we analyzed this trailer of over 44 feet long, about 8 feet wide, and over 13 feet tall. It runs on 3 axles and has a wheelbase of around 25 feet, with the front connection point, the 5th wheel, sitting 4 feet high. Inside, there's room for more than 3,200 cubic feet of cargo. It can carry a lot of weight, almost 60,000 pounds on the axles and nearly 40,000 pounds on the 5th wheel. These numbers stay the same, whether it's used for general hauling or heavier duty work. Instead of tipping to unload, it uses a moving floor system powered by hydraulics. The floor slides in sections, which shifts the load out the back. This setup makes unloading easier and safer, especially where there's limited space or uneven ground. The floor can handle everything from packaged goods to tougher materials like scrap or construction waste. The frame is welded together by robots using solar power, which helps keep the quality consistent from one trailer to the next. Some models use high-strength steel to reduce the trailer's own weight without giving up strength. Others offer an aluminum frame if keeping the weight down is more important. In certain versions, the top bar at the back is removed so extra large items can be loaded straight in from behind. There's also a version with full side access. The side doors stretch 42 feet across, and the middle post can slide out of the way. An adjustable rail at the top can lift up by about a foot if more vertical space is needed. Not so far. In Belgium, this trailer moves extremely heavy and oversized cargo, like giant machines, industrial parts, or construction equipment. It comes in different versions that can carry anything from 15 tons to over 1,000 tons. The axles can turn up to 60 degrees, which helps the trailer make tight turns, even when hauling massive loads. The trailer's deck can be lowered to under 9 inches off the ground, and that makes it easier to pass under bridges or through tunnels when the cargo is tall. Some trailers can also stretch out over 200 feet using telescopic frames. This is useful for long items like wind turbine blades or steel beams. Many of these trailers have hydraulic systems that help adjust the height and keep the load stable while driving. Some models also have goosenecks that can be removed or retracted, which gives better access for loading and unloading. In certain setups, the trailer can be separated into parts and reconfigured to match the cargo and road conditions. This type of equipment is often used to move things like generators, large transformers, or entire sections of industrial plants. It's built to handle different rules in different countries, so things like the number of axles can be changed to meet local requirements. This 2-axle semi-trailer is made for moving a large number of round or square bales. It can carry a total weight of about 64,000 pounds. The flatbed measures just over 42 feet long and 8 feet wide, giving plenty of space to stack bales in rows. The surface is made of thick plywood boards that help keep the bales steady during transport. The trailer alone weighs about 15,000 pounds, which means it can haul around 48,000 pounds of bales, depending on how it's loaded. And when needed, the trailer can tilt to about a 54-degree angle to help unload the bales more easily. To keep everything in place during transport, it has a hydraulic system that secures the load from either side. There's also a tarp with straps to keep bales from blowing away, and one side has a fixed wall with a metal grid to stop bales from sliding off during loading. It's controlled with a simple hand lever, and it connects to the truck's hydraulic system. A built-in support leg with a crank helps keep the trailer in place when it's not hooked to a truck. For more, some versions are approved for highway use up to 62 miles per hour with extra safety systems installed. The floor protection sheet is an extra feature made for Knapen's sliding floor trailers. Its main job is to protect the moving floor from damage caused by small and sharp materials like sand, metal pieces, or glass. These particles can fall between the floor planks and harm the internal parts underneath. The sheet creates a layer over the floor to keep that from happening. There are 2 versions available. One is the roll-up type that stays installed inside the trailer all the time. It rolls in and out with help from compressed air and doesn't get in the way when not being used. The other version can be taken off or moved to the side when needed. It can be folded into 2 positions or completely removed. Both versions have cutouts so that the rear doors can still lock properly, even when the sheet is in place. The sheet is stored in a plastic tube underneath the trailer. This tube is held in place by brackets on both sides. These brackets have a lock to keep the tube from moving while the trailer is on the road. Before loading cargo, the sheet is pulled out by hand to cover the floor. When it's time to retract it, a pneumatic tool is connected to roll it back into the tube using air pressure. It's important to make sure the sheet lies flat with no slack and is in the right position before driving. Another tipping trailer system, made to move and unload really heavy materials like scrap metal or loose industrial waste. This one's from Denmark. Instead of dumping the load directly from the trailer, it works with a large open-top bin called a cassette. The cassette sits on the trailer and gets tipped at an angle by a hydraulic system, so the contents slide out by gravity. It's not designed for use on public roads, but works well inside places like steel plants, scrap yards, and shipping terminals. The trailer and cassette are two separate parts, but they're designed to fit together and function as a system. This setup makes it easier to swap out cassettes when needed, which saves time and keeps things moving. The hydraulic lift raises one end of the cassette to tip it, and there are locking mechanisms and safety stops to keep everything steady during both transport and unloading. Because it handles heavy loads, the trailer has to be very strong. Therefore, its frame is usually made of reinforced steel, with extra supports and sturdy pivot points to handle the stress of tipping and moving. Some versions can be customized to carry even heavier loads or include extra features like stronger lifting arms or changes to the bin's shape and size. This kind of system is helpful in busy industrial areas where materials need to be moved and dumped often. It saves manual labor and speeds up the unloading process, especially when bins need to be emptied into hoppers, furnaces, or crushers. Since the cassette is separate, the trailer can keep working even if a bin needs maintenance or replacement. Next, this tarp system is made for trailers that tip backward, like the ones used on farms or in construction. It works with arms on the sides that move the tarp using springs. The cover itself is made from a special kind of PVC mesh. It lays over the top of the load without being tightly fastened to the trailer. There are two versions to choose from, one with a protective steel case and one without. The system can be mounted either at the front or back of the trailer, depending on the vehicle. It can be opened and closed in less than 30 seconds, and everything is controlled from the ground. That means there's no need to climb on the trailer to cover or uncover the load. You can choose to operate it manually, with electric power, 12 or 24 volts, or through a hydraulic setup. All the parts that make it work are placed outside the trailer, so the inside stays completely open and clear for loading. The system can be installed on all kinds of trailers, 2, 3, or 4-axle trucks, long semi-trailers up to 43 feet, and different types of tipper bodies used in farming or industry. Since the mechanism stays outside the trailer, it doesn't get in the way during loading or unloading. Seems as a good fit for carrying things like wood chips, silage, rocks, or any material that doesn't sit flat. The mesh tarp is flexible enough to cover these types of loads without needing tight side rails. It also helps keep materials from falling off during transport. Next, looking at Belgium's Faymonville's Model Max S module, designed to handle extremely heavy loads with precision. Each axle line can carry up to 79,366 pounds at very low speeds. It has a long suspension stroke of 25.6 inches and can adjust up or down by about 12.8 inches to stay level. The steering angle goes up to 60 degrees in either direction, which helps the trailer turn in tight spaces. Each module is about 118 inches wide and sits 46.9 inches off the ground when driving. It runs on 8 tires per bogie, with axles spaced 59 inches apart. A 4-axle bogie weighs close to 29,000 pounds. The system can work in different modes, towed like a regular trailer, partly self-driven with some motorized axles, or fully self-propelled with its own power source. The modules can be combined in different ways, side by side or front to back, to match the load's size and shape. The suspension and axle design help keep the load steady by adjusting to changes in the road. That way, no single axle takes too much pressure. For starting, stopping, or climbing hills, extra power can be added through assist drive modules, which push the trailer from within. These can provide a lot of force, up to 1,280 kilonewtons, from one power unit. To handle the stress of such heavy loads, the modules are made with strong materials, precise connections, and reinforced joints. The steering system, controlled either with cables or wirelessly, lets the operator guide the trailer through tight turns and complex routes, even with multiple modules connected together. Next, in Woodridge, they use this other system and keep tire pressure steady on trailers with 1 to 4 axles. It works with common tire sizes, and it usually keeps pressure between 85 and 120 psi. Its design includes a rotary union that can handle around 1 million miles of use. Air flows through 3 1/8-inch lines, and although the basic pressure control doesn't need electricity, things like warning lights and system checks do. Unlike basic systems that only add air, this one releases extra pressure and keeps all the tires at the same level. That's especially helpful for trailers with dual tires, where uneven pressure can cause uneven wear or other issues. Its hubcap is sealed to block out dirt and dust, and the rotary union moves air from the axle to the wheel. Instead of sending air through the axle tube, it uses steel braided hoses inside the axle to move air where it's needed. A built-in filter helps keep unwanted particles out, and the system includes a special vent that lets air move without letting in dirt. The controller runs everything automatically. It checks pressure all the time and stops sending air when the trailer's brakes are on. There's also a small port where technicians can run tests to make sure it's working correctly. A warning light on the trailer turns on if the system is adding air, and if it stays on too long, more than 10 minutes, it might mean there's a leak or something else to look at. And in Netherlands, we see a heavy-duty commercial vehicle built for long-haul freight transport, equipped with diesel engines and advanced driver assistance technologies. So the truck uses PACCAR MX series engines like the MX-11 and MX-13, which have been adjusted to use fuel more efficiently. Features like updated valve timing, a smart cooling system, and a 2-cylinder air compressor help it run better without wasting energy. It's paired with a 12-speed automatic transmission that keeps the engine speed low during cruising, helping save fuel. Instead of traditional side mirrors, it uses cameras to give the driver a clear view around the truck. There's also an extra camera near the front passenger door to help spot anything in blind spots. The truck includes aerodynamic upgrades, special tires that roll easier, and cruise control that adjusts based on the road ahead. A connected system allows for remote updates and tracks the truck's performance in real time. On the road, the truck maintains a steady pace with balanced handling. Its aerodynamic shape reduces drag, and the engine-transmission combo stays efficient under load. Low-friction tires maintain grip, while camera-based mirrors offer clear, wide views, even in poor lighting. An extra curbside camera aids in tight turns. The frame stays stable during stops and starts. Inside, a wide windshield and low windows improve visibility. Controls are within easy reach, and the quiet cab supports focus. The navigation system links to fleet software for real-time route updates. Safety tech alerts for lane drift, fatigue, or close traffic. A low-height option suits city driving. Some transport systems are built for everyday loads. But this Brioche one is built for the kind that most vehicles can't even attempt. It uses some of the most advanced equipment available, starting with trailers that ride incredibly low to the ground, just over 30 inches high. These trailers can stretch out over 53 feet and carry extremely heavy cargo, with each axle handling more than 26,000 pounds. They're supported by air suspension and reinforced points to keep everything stable and secure. The cranes used in this system are just as capable. One of them can lift over 66,000 pounds when the arm is close in, and nearly 19,000 pounds even when fully extended. For even heavier loads, there's a modular girder bridge that can carry up to 550 tons. This system can change its shape depending on the load, adjusting its height by more than 6 feet and opening up to 15 feet wide to hold massive cargo safely. Another part of the setup is the Self-Propelled Modular Transporter, or SPMT. This machine can move in any direction, even sideways, and it can lift cargo on its own. It's especially useful in places where space is tight or roads aren't strong enough for regular trucks. Axles on the SPMT can be rearranged depending on the job, which makes it incredibly flexible. And an open-all container giving full access from every side. Unlike standard containers that only open at one end, this one can be opened from the front, back, both sides, and even the top if needed. This means it's much easier to reach what's inside, especially if you're working with something big or oddly shaped, right? Each side has panels that either swing open or slide. When closed, they lock tightly and have seals that keep out rain, dust, and dirt. Even when some of the sides are open, the container stays solid and balanced because the corners and frame are reinforced with strong supports. Some models include systems that help you open the panels without using too much force. These can be mechanical or hydraulic depending on the setup. There can also be ramps or steps that fold down, so people or equipment can easily get in from any side. This makes it easier to work inside without having to move the whole container. This type of container works well when you need access from different angles, like on job sites or in tight spaces. Since you don't have to rely on just one door, it's easier to load, check, or adjust what's inside without shifting everything around. When closed, the container stays stable and secure, protecting whatever's inside. Another Dutch company bringing a railway sleeper system made from recycled plastic with steel bars inside, handling heavy loads, up to 55,000 pounds. Its material is fairly lightweight for its strength, with a density of about 50 pounds per cubic foot. Most sleepers are around 100 inches long and between 4 and 10 inches tall, depending on where they're used. In more complex areas like switch zones, they can be joined together to stretch over 400 inches. It also helps reduce the amount of material needed by shaping the base in a way that increases grip in the track bed. It works like a sandwich. The steel inside handles the stress from trains, while the plastic on the outside absorbs vibrations and protects it from wear. Because the plastic doesn't expand much with temperature changes, the track stays steady even in different weather. It can handle a lot of train traffic without bending or breaking down over time. There are different versions made for different rail widths, including narrow, standard, and broad gauges. In places like tunnels where space is tight, the height of the sleeper can be adjusted. Another useful feature is that the material can be shaped on site if the track needs to rise or tilt. Since it doesn't need any chemical treatments, there's no need for special coatings or safety measures during handling. The way fasteners can be placed allows it to work with many types of rail systems. Oregon, a highway truck offering engine choices that ranges from 370 to 525 horsepower. with torque at up to 1,850 pound-feet. The truck also includes safety systems that can watch the road and help the driver avoid trouble. Cameras and radar sensors check blind spots, detect lane drift, and monitor traffic ahead. If something goes wrong, the truck can step in with steering or braking. It even keeps an eye on the driver's alertness and can safely bring the vehicle to a stop if the driver doesn't respond. Behind the scenes, a built-in system connects the truck to fleet managers who can monitor performance and send updates remotely without interrupting the driver's routine. Again, Netherlands, looking to a cargo restraint system made to keep goods secure during transport. It includes tension straps and metal tracks that work together to hold loads in place on trucks, trains, ships, or planes. The straps are used to tie down cargo, and the tracks give fixed anchor points for attaching the straps. Each strap comes with a label that shows how much force it can safely handle, how much it might stretch under tension, up to 5%, and how much pulling force is applied when the ratchet is used. The tracks, such as the 3009 model, are designed to mount horizontally on vehicle walls. They are compatible with other parts of the system, including specific floor tracks and fittings. These tracks can be installed in different ways, by screws, rivets, welding, or a strong adhesive. This makes them suitable for a wide range of vehicle types and load setups. The system works by feeding the strap through a ratchet, hooking it into the track, and then tightening it to apply pressure. This holds the cargo in place so it doesn't shift during movement. The straps are made from webbing that is firm and designed to stay tight without much stretch, keeping everything secure. Its parts are made using precise machines that shape, cut, and punch the materials to exact sizes. This level of control also allows the manufacturer to create custom parts when needed. Covering and uncovering a trailer roof doesn't have to be a hassle. This electric roof sheeting system for moving floor trailers takes care of that job quickly and safely. Instead of using manual tarps or climbing up to secure straps, the system works with the push of a button. It's powered by a 24-volt connection from the trailer, and a control unit manages how the sheet moves and how much power it uses. The sheet rolls in and out using a strong central shaft, and the whole process takes around 30 seconds. One of the standout features is how it tightens itself once the sheet is closed. It applies a strong twist, over 340 Newton meters, that's hard to match by hand. There's also a pulley and spring setup that keeps the sheet steady and helps it pull back smoothly. When the sheet is closed, rubber seals and edge strips press tight to keep water out and the interior protected. The remote control makes it easy to use from the ground. And the last one is Finland, the land of, does any one of you remember this rock group named Lordi? Never mind. So in Finland, and certainly everywhere, moving cargo that's too big or heavy for regular trucks takes serious planning and the right equipment. And there's this Finnish special system that can handle large freight like wind turbine blades that stretch 74 meters long, tanks as wide as 9 meters, and even single items weighing over 400 tons. Their trucks and trailers can be adjusted to match the size and shape of whatever needs to be moved. Before anything hits the road, they study the route in detail. They check bridges, road widths, and anything hanging overhead. They even use 3D models and laser scanning to make sure everything fits and the path is safe. When the cargo is this big, every inch matters, and they make sure the weight is spread out right so the roads don't get damaged. The system doesn't just stick to roads. They also plan transport that uses ships, ports, and sometimes even rivers. In one job, they moved a 32-meter-long machine from Finland to Germany using a mix of road and river travel. In another, they moved more than 500 tons of steel in several shipments, taking care of storage and lifting along the way. So, Yeah, hard work, alleluia.